Hello Zion, it's Prince Easy, and well, let's get to it. Alright, so let's get a roll call, as in people that with their own free will have decided to do something about our situation, right? So let's get to it, right? There is Tanganyika, there is Zanzibar, right? For you who don't know, Tanganyika is just mainland Tanzania, and Zanzibar is the island, and the union of these two formed Tanzania, right? So Tanganyika and Zanzibar, Uganda, Nigeria, Niger, Burkina Faso, Mali, Chad, Burundi, Congo, Ghana, and the aspect of Congo, both of them Congos, right? Ghana, Guinea, Togo, and Senegal. So you need to protect yourself very seriously. Very seriously. You need to form a military alliance and protect your borders, as we have talked in prior videos, right? Now I am expecting more countries to join in, right? And you don't join in by just words, you join in by action, right? And if your actions reach me, then I recognize, right? Like what is happening in Angola, right? Our long-standing relationship with Zambia, right? My personal, right? I have personal relationships with people from Malawi, right? The Mozambique, I was surprised to hear their Swahili. It's actually the closest Swahili, right? You can't even distinguish them, right? So Angola, you are having a fuel evolution, and it might be tempting for you to just export outside and have that competitive mentality with all, right? That whole, what do they call it? Foreign currency. We need some foreign currency so as we can literally take that money back to them who gave us. Right? So the Congo depends on Angola and Zambia. If you just do your job, don't even advance into Congo, no, just do your job by protecting your north border in collaboration with the Tanzania and Uganda. Uganda protects the west. There are still fighters getting into the Congo, coming in from Sudan, right? South Sudan also needs to get involved, right? Central African Republic, it's stable as far as I know, but I don't know where they are going, right? And it would be of advantage for you to contact Chad, Niger, right, and talk to them. You need that security, right? So Angola, Zambia, if the fighting gets intense, yeah, it's gonna get intense. you need to protect your border, or else the violence will spill over to you, and they will use your countries as a platform to launch assaults into the Congo if they're not doing so right now. This is the reason, right? If it were up to me, all of us will be cleaning Congo. Every country around here offering personnel to go into the Congo and finish it up quickly, because the longer this extends, the more expensive it gets, right? The more expensive it gets. So finishing this quick is primary, right? And how sketchy they have drawn these maps. It's amazing that we have survived up to now. That's why, in my heart, in my deep of hearts, I need to erase this, because this was not made with us involved or us in mind. It was just division of resources. That's why it's like that. So I'd like you to join us in the same movement, in the same direction. There's intense stuff in Zimbabwe. I have talked about it here, right? GMOs have taken hold of Zimbabwe. And what we have been talking about here could really, really help that country, right? If nothing else. So let's move on. So there's this video out there, right? This is just the introduction, really, right? But after you have gotten your beak wet, you get into concepts like this, right? So what is happening here? Okay, most of you might have not heard of such a phenomenon, that spiders can fly. But believe me, there are creatures that have no wings and can fly. And there are creatures that have wings, but they do not work like the way they say they do. For instance, bees, right? Bees, right? The wings of a bee, they are too small for the creature. So how does it then fly with such accuracy, right? Well, to explain that, you have to go back to where their queen is, right? And after they have an attack from a bigger prey, they basically surround it and basically kill it with vibration. Right? But that's another topic, right? Well, I want to stick with these spiders. Well, you have seen it before, believe it or not. If you're a fanatic of movies from Marvel, we have that Wonder Woman, right? That Wonder Woman character. In later movies, she's seen, I think it's Wonder Woman 1970 what, I don't know, right? And she basically flies using thunder, right? So for you who don't know, after every meter, so they say, going upwards, the electricity increases. So there is literally electricity all around us, but they can't make you aware of that fact, because then the whole fuel and whole situation will just tank, right? The whole energy crisis that they have created will fail, right? So like always, God provides, right? God provides, and this knowledge of how he created creatures, these people have used this knowledge to create flying machines, right? I hope you have seen the clip that the mysterious clip that was put out to explain the disappearance of that flight, that Malaysian flight. And then we have these, actually Redacted has done an episode about it recently, right? The channel Redacted, you can look it up. There is an episode, it's not even 2 weeks ago. They are talking about this, right? And they even show images in various spectrum when it comes to camera view and perspective and whatnot, right? So these things are literally using arcs to move, right? They reach a height where there is enough electricity to literally just keep the flight continuous and stationary, right? The aircraft with magnetism and the whole thing, right? You have to watch this to understand the nature of magnetism, right? And I shall get back to that, right? And he basically introduces this whole idea that everything is magnetic, right? Us in school, we have only been taught a certain specific form of magnetism, but there are various forms of magnetism, right? So I'm just wetting your beak with the whole piezoelectricity stuff, right? I'm going to give you the full package, right? This is just a continuum, right, of the piezoelectricity episodes from way, I don't know how many months back, right? So add on top of that a little bit, right? Because these things can literally change technology, right? Here we have a spider flying for miles and miles. What are we not seeing? That's the question, brothers and sisters. Right? So I don't know what to say, but all I can say is this. These wars that we are seeing all over Africa, in the north, in the middle, and in the south, all of these skirmishes, they are all one big conflict, one big operation, right? That's why they can do this just after I make a video, right? They can just do this. Maybe it's a scare tactic or whatever, right? But I know these people. We have been doing this. Who have been around listening to me, we know about what I've been doing. So very unfortunate, and okay, good job on the retaking. Huh? So these experts are urging this country to rejoin. Well, that is dead and gone, really. Have these supposed experts consulted the leaders of these countries by any way? Because while we are here, is because AU has been lacking, UN has been lacking, ECOWAS has been lacking. Basically toothless. So we say, okay, we are tired of externalizing, or basically, I don't know what to say it, outsourcing our unity. We have to take control of it like it should be. We should come together, the collective, and say, okay, this division is enough. We should intend to end it and actually take the measures to end it. And one way is being safe, because without security you can't do nothing, right? And then it's food and all of these human necessities, right? Like shelter, power, electricity, meaning, and all of these basic necessities. I'm not asking for much here, am I? Just basic necessities to have a stable and functional society. Right? So if ECOWAS stands in the way, then I don't think it's a good idea. Right? And we don't want to rehash those wounds, and we are over it. Right? We are over it. We all know what happened with what the president of Nigeria said. That is dead and gone. Okay, so this is brother to brother, and that's how it should be, not organization and brother to brother, no. No third party, nothing. Leaders of this country join this country, they come together for a certain responsibility that they have, a common responsibility to their people. And with this thought in mind that they need to come together for their sake. Right? That's why these brothers in the Sahel said, okay, you know what, since the ECOWAS done abandoned our people just because we are the leaders, so be it what it be it. Right? It failed. Right? It failed to be in service of the people. It became political. It became a tool, just like the UN. It became a tool of control. So it acts when it's convenient, right? That's why there is so much bad blood between you, UNESCO and the Congolese. Right? Because what they're doing and what they're saying are two different things. Two contrary different things. Right? Now me, I'm watching these countries, all of them. I get the news of what they're doing, what is happening, right? And that's what we are doing, and that's it. Full stop. I bet there are many of these all over. Right? You should hear this story. So, let's talk about this. Right? So, the translation of the title on the bottom right, right? The exercise, the ritual to the ancestor, right? Or ancestors, right? Here's the problem with most history, what is circulating around pertaining to spirituality, especially our spirituality, right? We went through phases when it comes to our evolution and development and spirituality matters as Israelites, right? So if today we are trying to find ourselves and we say, okay, let's abandon Christianity, like most are suggesting, right? And then we go to these ancestors, right? Ancestors, these ancestors, right? These are the creatures that we were worshipping before we were taken into slavery. And past scripture, we should not be turning back to them. I think we should be going back to our fathers. Abraham did not worship such a thing here, right? And since this is a hub of information, I will inform you what this is about, right? This right here, right? This is a manifestation of a Nephilim, right? A Nephilim in the spirit world. This is one of them. How did they get this image? Of course, drugs. Yeah? Powerful drugs. Then you enter into a trance and then you get a vision. And this is what apparently was seen. And it, even they might say anything about what they want to say, but this is familiar, right? I will show you some sources that will prove that this is rather familiar. No pun intended. Those familiar spirits, right? Right? They are Nephilim. So if we are talking about really our gods, they are not really God. That was the lie. That was what made us go into captivity. That's what made us go into captivity, worshipping these creatures. Right? And it's not a phenomenon just here in East Africa. It's all over. It's very consistent. You'll be surprised, right? All of these countries that I've mentioned here, let them show you what their creatures look like. And trust me, they look the same. Now this is what we call our traditions. And these are the things that curse the land, because we worship these things and do not worship a very jealous God that we have. So this is not right. This should not exist. Okay. Talked about this. Right? Times have changed. And most people do not want to recognize that fact. Times have changed. Everything is extremely intense right now. So we should be gentle to those fragile. Really gentle. Right? Because innocence is under siege. Let me tell you that. Innocence is under siege. Right? That's why we see in the West them trying to educate young minds with perversive ideologies and stuff like that, right? So we should keep an eye out, an extreme eye out, right? So this is their plan to bring down aircrafts. Do not do it. Yeah? Do not do it. What will happen to you when you are disconnected while in travel? Will you die? Do you survive with that? Like the ping of the internet, the connectivity on the internet makes your heart beat. That now you have to have these weapons beaming information directly to the aircraft. Great. Shall see about that. Well, I've seen this happening time and time, right? In all over black neighborhoods, right? And if you care, right, just to go onto Google and write up the gang signs, the gang signs of these gangs of Babylon, you'll be surprised that most of them are like really, really satanic, right? And I have one of them here, right? So this guy was, I don't know, part of this gang or rivals with the gang that their whole situation is this here, right? This is quite something. This is quite something here. Yeah, this is very sophisticated. This is very sophisticated. These savages, gang banging all night, cannot come up with this. This is highly esoteric, right? Of course, we have to have our oppressor's symbol right in the middle, right? You should Google the esoteric meaning of that star right there. That is the complete of how it is supposed to be. It has to have elements at the tip of every angle, right? So we have a heart with 6 wings. That's the angel, and then we have a sword, and on the hilt of that sword we have a crown, sounding familiar. And then we have the heart, right? We have talked about the rise of cardio issues, right? And me personally, yeah, they have tried. The last time was literally just a couple days. Right? They have tried to close blockages in my heart, right? By, I don't know, various means. We shall talk about them, right? But how does it feel? It feels like, I don't know, pins in your heart or some sort of pressure and piercing feeling like. Yeah. Right? So in fact, let me just blow this up because I made a commitment that this will be the last time they do it. Alright? They try to double down after me making this video as usual. The price I'm paying for these videos, like, sheesh. Okay? So, it all starts with those aircrafts we have talked about, right? They drop a package, and this package goes into the holes of your body, right? The most favorable of these is the nose, the nostrils, right? So it enters the nostrils and it infects the nasal cavity, right? The nasal cavity, right? So we get cases where one cavity pathway to the nose is blocked, right? This is that growth, right? And I've seen people solving it by flushing their nose, right? So there is this apparatus that has a point at the end, and I think it's this water is safe because it looks like a bag of those where the IV, right? The IV bags, and they basically put that device on one nostril and then basically pressure the mucus to come out, right? I understand that there are literally impacts to the immune, I understand, but doing that regularly will prevent issues that we are going to talk about later on. Okay, remember what I'm talking about here has happened to me many times. I'm literally recovering from it right now, right? So this creature, right, because it is a creature, believe it or not, It is a creature. So this creature, from the nasal cavity, it goes down to the throat, right? That's where we get that constantly, because it is slowly dripping. So we get that consistent dripping, right? Now there's a variety where when it's between the transition of going from the nasal cavity to the throat and moving down to the lungs, you can literally smell it, right? There's a loophole between the two, or you can smell it and taste it, but at the roof of your mouth, right? So it grows to your throat. Through your throat, it goes either to your intestines or to your lungs. Now, from your lungs, it then, I don't know, reproduces, or it is by nature small in particle. From the lungs or from the guts, it is then absorbed into the blood, right? It is then absorbed into the blood, right? And there's a deeper maneuver that they are performing, but this is just, I'm telling you the mechanism of how you can interfere with this weapon. So from the blood, then it deposits itself slowly in the heart. Slowly. It deposits itself, it deposits itself, it deposits itself, and then boom. A person, when an autopsy is done, then a creature is seen inside, a growth, they call it a growth, right? So you can fight it in the nasal cavity, right? In the nasal cavity. You can also fight it in the throat, right? Or you can fight it in the lungs, right? The lungs, right? Where you get a mix of dry and wet cough, right? And there are, I don't know, it's the same effect as in the throat, right? That dripping effect is the same thing as in the throat, right? So as it spread, your body, as it grows, your body wakes up and fight it, right? As it grows, your body wakes up and fight it. That's how it goes, right? So you get this constant coughing while it chokes, right? It chokes. That's the whole ritual, the George Floyd ritual, right? They want to choke the life out of Israel, and that's their method, ritualistic killing, right? So the heart, the lungs, the throat, the nasal cavity, the intestines, right? And it can do many things, right? If this growth continues in the lining of the intestine, then that can even cause the issues that we are seeing today, right? It's a direct assault to the immune system, because it does not get resupplied by the absorption of minerals through the intestine, right? We can also, in its transition towards the heart, you can break it down to a molecular level, right? There are remedies for thinning, right? They call it. I hope I hope my memory is right. Thinning of the blood, when this creature here is in transit to deposit itself into the heart so as it can grow and basically do what it does, you can weaken it, right? You can weaken it. So, yeah. This is gonna be an episode, right? So, those are the ways. And for those who have those quote-unquote extreme cases, we have talked about extensively. Yeah, I've talked about it extensively, right? On the ways that they can cause a rapid reaction or a rapid increase, right? I remember I almost choked on mucus twice in the middle of the night while I'm sleeping. Can you even believe that? Right? So, thank you, God, that we're even here to talk about it, right? That's another disease by itself, right? That's a whole other disease by itself that they can hit the masses with, right? And of course, this suffocating thing hits you really quick and fast. Sometimes it's just radiation. Yeah, radiation can cause a creation of mucus to clean up that said radiation in the bloodstream and whatever. Right? It can be radiation from these handsets that we have. Let me just give you a breakdown of the things that we have talked about over the years. Handsets. Right? It can be radiation from handsets. It can be an allergic reaction. Right? I have one of those. Right? These are those fast acting. Right? Stupidly fast acting. Right? Where you see that both of your nasal cavities are not filled up with any form of mucus buildup whatsoever, but still there's a blockage. Now that's how you know you have been hit with an allergic package, right? So their tool is mostly air. That's the most efficient way really to infect the masses, a large number of it anyway, right? So acids help breaking down, right, of this infectious creature, yeah, that multiplies and literally be found everywhere, right? And there are extreme cases where I personally think, because it happens over time, right? It happens over time. As you can see, my breathing is not up to par. It's just a piercing feeling. You feel it. Yeah? So it's not a new thing that it does not obey what nature dictates. It cannot exist if that's the case. So I need you experts in all of these countries that I've mentioned here to come up with theories, and then those theories, if, I don't know, multiple avenues are the most probable, then pursue all of them until their conclusion, because we need to neutralize these by first understanding them. Okay? Understanding them. Okay, so I'm just giving you the disease, right? That's the disease, and that's how it works. And that's how we see the rise in cases of such phenomenon. Okay, so I don't know. All of these, I don't know. Heart surgeries as a solution is not, it's not a, I don't know. It works, but in a large scale, yeah, it's quite a process, isn't it? So we should be like focusing on solving the thing, right? Solving the thing is a big problem. It's a big problem, right? I have my ways to fight this, as I have been, right? As I have been. So, yeah, I'm just informing you. So as when you come and sit together, this is just one thing that you talk about when you're talking about the health of your peoples. They want to get to the children. They've already polluted all of the kids' entertainment with adult themes and basically corruption. Filled with their themes, those strings we talked about, right? All of their programming is filled with their themes and their ideologies, what they believe, and if children keep watching and watching and watching, before they know it, they are totally disconnected from their surrounding. Yeah? Of course, there's a connection, Liz. You just want to sever that connection, right? Because milk production starts in the brain. Starts in the brain. So, these are other forms of magnetism, right? I'm sorry I couldn't arrange them systematically because the time frame, right? So everything that you see here was done in that time, per se, right? So the last thing I talk about is the last thing that I captured and wanted to talk about, type situation. So this guy here, to give you just a, he's deep into South Africa, right? He's South African. From the way he speaks, he looks like he's from South Africa, or a white guy from South Africa. And he's basically trying to rediscover our heritage, right? And our heritage was destroyed for a reason, because it was dangerous for us at that particular time, right? Because we had very rich spiritual growth, and we abused this power in war, right? The atomic bomb has been made before. We have been here, right? This truth will get out at one point. We have been here before. So this was a capture from a WhatsApp. It's just an opinion. But it's the truth. It's an opinion, but it's the truth. So this is just like a response, because they are watching me, right? You had this conference in Nigeria, if I'm not mistaken, about a week, if I'm not mistaken, last week. If not you, then it's Uganda, right? You are talking about it was a problem these days because people take medication without prescription, and that creates antimicrobial resistance. Superbugs, they are calling it. They don't even know what antimicrobial resistant is. They're just putting bugs together so as to make people be fearful. Right. It's just the harsh reality of pharmaceutical industry. The truth is, what these medications that are available today, most of them are poisonous, right? And if you play with poisonous creatures, for you who don't know, how do you make yourself immune from the poison? By giving yourself small dosage of that poison. Eventually, you'll build a resistance to that thing. Okay? It applies to many, many things, right? If you punch a wall so many times, some things will appear on your hands and on top of your bones, right? So they are pushing for a certain reaction, right? They want the immune down so as they can make a business out of diseases, right? Because they know the war is ending, and this is how they change their business model from weapons to other forms of weapons. So this is in connection with this, right? This is in connection to this, right? And you're going to see that this is not our culture. This is just a thing that we adapted, right, in early African interactions that we are not even, they are not even documented, right? So if you look at the content that this guy has produced, he has looked across the land, across multiple civilizations. I've even contributed to this work here in this channel. I don't know if the video is up, I don't remember. Right, we talked about right, so it's basically Nephilim, right? This is a demon, and when you do a ritual, you get demonic repercussions. Okay, that is done and settled. If you want to continue doing this, then people will continue dying, and those people who are not part of your ritual will remain safe. Right? We have had this conversation back and forth, and you're still embracing this witchcraft. Right? You need to take 2 steps back, not 1 step back in history. Because if you take 1 step back in history, prior to being taken slavery, we were in a fallen state. This is scripture. It's written in scripture, isn't it? It's not said directly, but it's implied. You need to use your own brain. Right? Whilst we were taken into slavery, we did terrible things. Right? Go to North America over there. They have the same things. And what did they do? What was that categorized by? Exactly the same thing that the devil, the worshippers of devils, were accused of. They used to offer their children, right? And do all of these rituals in reverence and worship. Right? So you're telling me this is the God, this is somehow connected to you. This is a demon, right? And I rebuke all of the witchcraft that you did here. If you believe in this as your past, go to it, quick. But I'm not going with you. I'm not going with you. Why would God need freaking horns? Right? Why? So I don't even know what to say about this. But what I can say is this. I think people are in denial. The system is working fine. Right? The system is working fine. I saw a video by Professor, don't remember the name, the last name. It has fled from me, right? But this professor, one of those early leaders of Tanzania, he speculates that there is so much divisiveness. There's so much divisiveness in when it comes to tribalism, religion, and politics, right? Well, all of these three things are sustained by this monster we call democracy, right? Democracy gives the right to religion, gives the right to do politics. It gives the right for people to have control over the armed forces, and that's what this is about, right? So let's talk about one of these, each of these three aspects that they are speculated to be the divisive things that are dividing Tanzanians at this particular time. Is it religion? I don't think it is. Me personally, I don't think it is. It's a non-issue, right? Me, the president, two different religions. And we can all agree that what needs to be done needs to be done. Right? There are things that even people who have difference of tribals and religion and politics can agree upon. Right? So we choose to divide ourselves. Right? So it's just like that quotation over there, it says. Right? Democracy promises to serve everybody and not leaving anybody behind. Is that feasible? Right? And since how we acquire leaders is through democracy, and since we do not want to acknowledge that indeed there are powers that can interfere in these called democracies and install people that will favor them, okay? Because to be honest, all of these means of ruling all over the world cannot work if they do not have the armed forces. So people, to these enemies of ours, are literally disposable. Right? Look at what is happening in all of these countries that have troubles. It's just two groups rivaling each other over the control over who has the guns. And this struggle is inevitable, right? Because we assume that a situation can be created where everybody can just agree. That's not possible. They can keep this going on and on and on and on and on. Yeah, for context, for you who don't understand, well, this situation is there is a opposition leader who was kidnapped, tortured, and then killed, and then disposed of. And he was found, and the opposition is now saying that they are giving they are giving 10 days for the investigation. If not, they are gonna do a march to basically, by their words and insinuation, to oust the president, right? To oust the president. They have no faith in the president nor the armed forces. This is the slippery slope that we talked about here before. These people can utilize the system legally to destroy you, right? Democracy gave people the right to protest. It's a standard. So then why do we push back when these protests happen? Right? And then these people get into power, and then they can just spill out accusations and then rally up the people so as they can take down their government. This is just a familiar playbook. They have done it over and over. They get into a country, they go to the opposition, they support the opposition, they arm the opposition, right? The opposition of Tanzania literally has its own little army. You know, they call it, I don't know, the Red Brigade. And they conduct themselves as a security force. Right? They just need tension and leadership to lose itself, and then they arm these people. And then it's over. Before you know it, you are fighting each other. They are just busy deep in the forest rooting. But this whole situation was brought here because of democracy and politics. Let's not try to divert the attention to, I don't know, religion, that now Tanzanians are divided by religion. That's not true. Or by tribalism. It's a joke right now. You know what sustains tribalism? Marriage. You know what destroys tribalism? Marriage. So, what is our situation? Is the intermingling intense? Yes, it is. So, it is dead. It cannot come back. Right? You can be, don't get me wrong, people can be manipulated to believing anything. That's another part of the problem. Right? So these people have devised techniques to turn the people against their leaders legally. And that's the situation that we find ourselves in. So this is your field. You are the masters of democracy. I've been against this from the beginning. I think I've been really forward with it. Right now, it's not a time to have free and fair election. You are working under the assumption that your enemy is free and fair. You try to keep it fair by force, and then they will complain that this use of force is literally a technique to steal votes. They can keep on and on, hide behind wanting investigations. Can go on for years and years. Right? Now here we are. Now I don't know how we are going to get out of this predicament. So you say you have secrets that these people have been planning to do this evil, this incitement. Give out that information. Give out that information. right? I don't know, it might compromise the source of said information, but you be the judge. You are the one having that information. I'm just telling you the effects of what they are doing, right? I'm just telling you the effects of what they are doing. Just thought this was funny. It's actually a real thing. Right? And so Russia has weapons for us. I've seen their promotional material. The reactive ammo, impressive. The thinness, and that it can be fitted into anything. Wow, something else. Look at that. We are famous, right? So on top of this situation, these ambassadors felt like they had to say something, right? They had to say something. It's obvious that you're trying to influence things in our country. But these people who have the information are fearful for some reason. Maybe because they have dirt on each other, perhaps. Online, the war has evolved into bots. It's intense. They were talking about Museveni, right? Martha-S7U. But he got all the smoke from the Ugandans. But they didn't know. They were just answering a bot, right? They were just there to incite. John Mwacha -H5G. In this comment section, I read a comment that just said nchi mbwa. So it's really intense. Jane-Z5, you are seeing the trend here. Rick-TO2RR. That's not a real person, right? These are just algorithms pitting war against each other, right? Just like a Terminator in disguise. Just influencing the masses meticulously. Hey, look at that. The warm, it has risen from 1 degree to 3 degrees. They are concerned, these climate trackers. They're giving out this report conveniently before the COP20 what? COP30 or COP whatever that you have going on right now. Satellites and AI offer hope for global action, right? So this is how they hand us over to their god, AI. Whatever AI recommends, that's what we take, as if it cannot be influenced by external forces. How stupid are these people? How stupid do they think we are? That's the better question. You should be very, very attentive with these people here. It should be looked at. So, I wanted to connect this with what is happening in Congo. So, from what I'm hearing from the ground, in Congo, China and Japan have signed deals to exploit the resources, right? One will do farming, one will do mining. I don't remember which is which, but respectively for each. Apart from this whole situation and how it will play out in Congo, let me ask, Japan is doing what it does. China, let's see your experience. From what I recall, you are building this Belt and Road situation through the deserts, places where there are basically groups of people that do criminal activity, and you have had your workers hurt because of this, right? I remember last time, I don't know if it was a bridge or a dam or a bridge or a road leading to a dam, one over two. So you believe that your exploitation, you, China and Japan, will just progress without any form of interference from these multiple groups working inside the Congo? I would think the first thing you do before you invest anything, your billions over there, you first sending in equipment and a group of people to train these people on this equipment, right? Because as I've informed many, right, and the Chinese do not get, I know this video will reach them for a fact. They need better equipment. No matter how much you lend these people, they will be able to pay back. They have enough resources to last them, to pay off any debts now and in the future, right? So you want to do mining in the middle of war, you want to do farming in the middle of war. It's really hot over there right now for over the past 2 weeks. Extremely hot. So now is the time for you investors, quote unquote, especially China, to offer serious weapons. Offer serious weapons to these people, so as they can fight these hooligans. They don't even know which war they are fighting, right? Some of them are Rwanda's refugees that were chased from Rwanda because they were part of some genocide that happened back in 94. And what do they do now? They have to fight now to have access to land. So they're just being like a ping pong, back and forth. Right? The situation in Congo is very serious, right? And it should give us an image of the rest of the region, even the Sahel. Very serious, you know. What those Arabs did to those people who were digging those trenches, that was cruel, really cruel, right? And they have clips circulating around. I literally have a clip of the person, literally the terrorists, as they were committing this crime. He just walk around, shoot this in the head, walk around. This guy tried to escape, they shot him. So I think we should get our priorities straight a little bit, right? Priorities. Right, and now they want me to pull back, right? They want me to pull back into my country because it was quiet. Things were going well, so I could focus on other regions, but they want to bring me back here, so they want to cause problems. Like I said, there's the easy way and there is the easy way. So whatever these polite people, this president, really nice, kind, humble, but they're abusing. That's just the easy way for them. Then there's the easy way. Okay? And the easy way always comes on way, way, way down the line after a lot of damage has been done. That's when the easy way comes around. Pride and all. So if they are criminals and they are hiding behind their people, those are your people. You as a nation leader, those are your people. So whatever evil they are planning and hiding, expose it. Not you directly. You can run your own operation. Just leak everything. Right? Because they have attacked the credibility of our officers in general. They have even questioned your credibility. It has reached a point that they're asking people from England to come here to investigate. Right? So this situation, I remember Professor Warioba. So Professor Warioba, you are saying whatever Chadema is doing, it's not because of faith, it's not because of all of those three factors. It's just how politics works. It's just how it works. People don't feel some certain decision suits their need without even seeing the full picture, without even having the entirety of the information that these readers are privy to. They just go on the road. Now because you are the power and you are the responsible one, you try to fix it, finding yourself even destroying more and more. Just like Saddam Hussein, started slow, right? The media, right? The media, the first attack, right? They spread rumors that he was kidnapping and oppressing opposition and this and that and all of that, right? And then came the riots, right, from the opposition. trying to say that he's trying to get him, right? And Saddam, he said, you know what? I'm doing this to protect you. So he uses the stick. That creates even more escalation, because now people are completely convinced that you are hiding something, right? This has worked many times. Look at Libya. It's literally the same script. That's the handwork of the CIA, right? I was watching this documentary. I don't remember which country, but it is one of those countries in Asia, right? These guys were pumping to the line of $80 million, yeah, per year to destabilize the government. 80 million. This is change for these conglomerates. If they were to bribe people with this 80 million per year, do you think they will not be able to topple a government? They can. They can. So I don't know what decision will be, right? Because I'm not fully informed. They're just rumors. They say rumors without any form of proof. This side says rumors without presenting any proof. And we, the masses, now are left to decide who is right. Yeah? Now how do we decide? Track record. And so far, the track record does not favor the government. Why? Because they have been trying to topple this government for the longest. What I would say, be very wise. Right? Whatever move you make, know they have a plan after that. Meantime, go to the farthest move. Look for weapons. Look for weapons. Right? Because if they fail to get power the normal way, they arm the people. They say, here, guns, take it. So this is to all of the I'm not still talking to Tanzania because these people are on some nonsense. Okay, I'm talking to all of you. I don't know how many. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Talking to all of you. I've created water there, a water basin. Hope you can go wash all that blood out of it. They're blocking the view of the universe. How about them apples? Eh? This is another strong opinion that I think I should live here for my people over there in the Ethiopia, right? Because most time people think I'm making stuff up. Right? They are trying to belong. They're trying to feel special. So let me get this straight. Let me get this straight. There is ample proof for their activity in the Congo. Ample proof. Macron being a Jew himself. And in the past, before they took that land in the Middle East, where do they wanted to set up house, set up shop? The region of the Congo, Tanzania, Uganda, there. That's where they wanted to plant their flag. I've shown you proof that they are working in the South African political system, trying to have their own land in the West Cape. I've shown you proof, but about those quote-unquote Biafrans, right? Those are armed, right? They are more focused on looking scary than being scary, right? There is just their handprint everywhere, everywhere, right? And when you say something about them, what do they do? And what do they say? They use this word here. Huh? They use that word there, right? So they have neutralized the Christians from saying anything to them because they use the scripture, right? We are the chosen people. And God said, do not say anything about the chosen people or you'll be cast. So them, they are neutralized. They actually support. Yeah, we have preachers here in these pulpits supporting what they are doing. Right? So, I'm just saying, this world is mad. Nothing is new. Everything is working perfectly. Everything is working perfectly to their advantage. And at the time it does not start to work for their advantage, they fight. They try to bring trouble. Right? So they are fearful. And the more our influence grows, the more they lose their influence. Because they know, I got you. I'll tell you things that they are not telling you. I will keep you informed. Right? And just like in the Christian scripture it says, God's people are lost in most cases due to the lack of knowledge. So I'll keep people knowledgeable. Right? I'll try to keep people knowledgeable. So I hope you'll open your mind. Right? Open your mind. What they have given us is not dogma. It's not dogma. We shouldn't be rigid. We should look at the environment and adjust according to the situation. Right? So keep fighting the good fight. Prince Easy signing out. Love you. Bye.